Imagine a tiny coin sitting in your pocket, just 25 cents, but did you know this very coin could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Yes, this is the Washington quarter dollar, hiding history, rare dates, and astonishing secrets that every collector dreams of discovering. Today on USA World CoinsX, we take you on a journey where every coin tells a story, every scratch reveals a secret, and every rare date can leave you amazed. Stay with us until the very end, because the next coin we reveal might be the one already in your pocket, and its value could blow your mind. Top 1. In the year 1965, something changed forever in American coin history, and today we are diving deep into that powerful turning point through one small but incredibly historic piece of metal, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar of the United States of America. When you first hold this coin in your hand, it may look ordinary, just another quarter you might receive in change, but the truth hidden inside it is extraordinary. 1965 was the first year the United States Mint removed silver from circulating quarters, ending a tradition that had lasted since 1932. That decision marked the beginning of the modern clad coinage era, and the Washington quarter of this year became the bridge between the silver past and the copper-nickel future. This is not just a coin, it is a symbol of economic pressure, rising silver prices, and a nation adapting to change. And as we explore every detail of this coin, from its weight and diameter to its minting story and astonishing value, you will discover why collectors around the world search tirelessly for rare examples of the 1965 quarter. Let us begin with the coin's essential information. The 1965 Washington quarter continues the classic design first introduced in 1932, featuring the powerful left-facing portrait of America's first president, George Washington. The portrait was designed by sculptor John Flanagan, whose initials JF appear subtly on the coin. On the obverse, you will see the word Liberty boldly placed above Washington's head, the motto "In God We Trust" to the left, and the date 1965 below. The reverse displays a majestic eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows with olive branches below, symbolizing strength and peace. United States of America arches above, with E pluribus unum placed gracefully across the top field, and quarter dollar at the bottom. Even though the composition changed in 1965, the design remained visually identical to earlier silver issues, making it almost impossible at first glance to distinguish it from a pre-1965 silver quarter. That quiet continuity is part of what makes this coin historically fascinating. Now let us talk about the physical specifications that define this coin. The 1965 Washington quarter weighs exactly 5.67 grams. This weight remained the same as the earlier 90% silver quarters, even though the metal content was completely different. The diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, giving it the familiar size Americans had known for decades. Its thickness is 1.75 millimeters, maintaining the traditional feel in the hand. But the real change lies in its composition. Unlike the silver quarters struck from 1932 through 1964, the 1965 quarter is made of a clad composition consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This three-layer sandwich construction allowed the mint to reduce reliance on expensive silver while keeping the coin's color and electromagnetic properties similar to older coins so vending machines and coin-operated devices would still accept them. This engineering decision was both economic and practical, and it reshaped the future of American coinage forever. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1965 Washington quarter is the mint mark, or rather, the absence of one. In 1965, the United States Mint made a highly unusual decision. No mint marks were placed on circulating coins from 1965 through 1967. This policy was implemented to discourage coin collecting and hoarding during the national coin shortage. At the time, rising silver prices had caused people to pull silver coins from circulation, creating a serious shortage in everyday commerce. To combat this, the mint removed mint marks and increased production dramatically. As a result, all regular 1965 quarters appear without any mint mark, regardless of whether they were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. This makes identifying specific mint facilities impossible for standard circulation coins, adding a unique layer of mystery to the series. It was a temporary measure, but it makes the 1965 issue stand out historically from surrounding years. Production numbers for the 1965 Washington quarter were enormous. The mint struck over 1 billion quarters that year, a staggering mintage intended to flood the economy with enough coins to end the shortage. Because of this high mintage, most 1965 quarters found in circulation today are common and typically worth only face value in worn condition. However, as any serious collector knows, rarity is not always about mintage numbers alone. Condition plays a massive role in determining value. High-grade uncirculated examples with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks can command significantly higher premiums. Even more exciting are rare error coins and special varieties that slipped through the mint during this transitional year. Among the most famous rarities associated with the 1965 Washington quarter are the accidental silver planchet errors. Although silver production officially ended in 1964, a small number of leftover silver planchets were mistakenly fed into the presses in 1965. These rare coins appear identical to standard 1965 quarters in design, but they are struck on 90% silver blanks. They weigh slightly more than the clad version and lack the visible copper core edge seen on regular coins. Collectors can identify them by examining the edge. A genuine silver example will show a solid silver-colored edge with no copper stripe. These rare transitional errors are extremely valuable and highly sought after, especially when authenticated by professional grading services. In addition to silver planchet errors, off-center strikes, doubled dies, and other minting anomalies from 1965 can also command impressive prices. When evaluating a 1965 Washington quarter, condition grading becomes critical. Coins are graded on a scale ranging from poor to mint state 70. In circulated grades, most examples show wear on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. In uncirculated mint state grades, the coin retains its original mint luster and sharp details. The difference in value between a circulated coin and a near-perfect mint state example can be dramatic. Collectors carefully inspect surfaces for contact marks, scratches, and strike quality. Since the mint produced so many coins rapidly to address the shortage, some examples show weak strikes or surface imperfections, making truly superb specimens relatively scarce compared to the total mintage figure. Another fascinating aspect of the 1965 quarter is its place in economic history. During the early 1960s, silver prices were rising sharply due to global demand and limited supply. The intrinsic silver value in circulating coins began approaching and even exceeding face value. This created an incentive for the public to hoard or melt silver coins. In response, Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1965, officially removing silver from dimes and quarters and reducing silver content in half dollars. This act reshaped American coinage and marked the end of an era that had lasted generations. The 1965 Washington quarter stands at the center of that transformation. It represents the moment America shifted from precious metal coinage to base metal coinage for everyday transactions. Collectors today appreciate the 1965 quarter not just for its transitional status, but also for its affordability in most grades, making it accessible to beginners while still offering the thrill of discovering rare high-grade or error specimens. Searching through rolls of quarters can sometimes yield surprisingly well-preserved examples. Some collectors even weigh 1965 quarters carefully in hopes of finding a rare silver planchet error. The excitement of possibly uncovering a transitional silver piece keeps interest in this year alive decades later. And now we arrive at the astonishing part of this journey. While most 1965 Washington quarters are common, a rare transitional silver error or an exceptionally preserved high-grade example can command breathtaking prices at auction. Imagine discovering that a coin once worth only 25 cents could transform into a treasure valued at $230,000. That is the power of rarity, condition, and historical significance combined into one small disc of metal. If you have a 1965 Washington quarter in your collection, examine it closely, Check the edge for a solid silver appearance, weigh it carefully, and consider professional grading if it appears exceptional. You might be holding a life-changing discovery. If you enjoyed learning about the 1965 Washington quarter, make sure you comment below about your own coins so we can provide information about them. Subscribe to the channel for more incredible coin stories, and like this video to support the journey into America's hidden treasures. Top 2. We are going to take a deep and unforgettable journey into the heart of the 1972 Washington quarter, exploring its specifications, history, composition, mint marks, collector appeal, and the astonishing value that a rare example can command. By the end of this story, you may never look at a simple quarter the same way again. The 1972 Washington quarter continues the timeless design first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of the birth of America's first president, George Washington. The portrait was sculpted by the talented artist John Flanagan, whose work captured Washington's calm authority and enduring leadership. On the obverse of the 1972 quarter, you see Washington facing left, with the word Liberty boldly inscribed above his head. The national motto "In God We Trust" appears to the left of the portrait, and the date 1972 is positioned below. The reverse design features a powerful eagle with wings fully extended, clutching a bundle of arrows, symbolizing readiness and strength, while olive branches beneath represent peace. United States of America curves across the top, E pluribus unum rests above the eagle, and quarter dollar is proudly displayed at the bottom. Even after decades of production, this design remained a strong and recognizable emblem of American identity. Now let us focus on the physical characteristics that define this coin. The 1972 Washington quarter weighs precisely 5.67 grams, a standard that had been maintained since the introduction of clad coinage in 1965. Its diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, giving it the familiar size Americans recognize instantly. The thickness of the coin is 1.75 millimeters, providing a balanced feel in the hand, neither too thin nor too heavy. These dimensions were carefully preserved to ensure compatibility with vending machines and coin-operated systems nationwide. The composition of the 1972 quarter is a clad structure consisting of an outer layer made from 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. When you examine the edge of the coin, you can clearly see the distinct copper stripe running through the center, a defining feature that separates it from earlier silver quarters struck before 1965. This copper-nickel clad construction was designed for durability, cost efficiency, and long-term circulation. Unlike some earlier transitional years, the 1972 Washington quarter proudly carries mint marks, which help collectors identify where each coin was struck. In 1972, quarters were minted at 3 primary facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins struck in Philadelphia traditionally carried no mint mark during this period. Those minted in Denver display a small D mint mark on the obverse, positioned to the right of Washington's ponytail. Quarters produced in San Francisco bear an S mint mark and were primarily struck as proof coins intended for collectors rather than general circulation. Proof coins from San Francisco were specially manufactured using polished dies and planchets to create a mirror-like finish with sharp, frosted details. These proof versions are highly desirable among collectors due to their beauty and limited production compared to circulation strikes. The year 1972 was marked by substantial production numbers, reflecting America's ongoing need for circulating coinage. Millions upon millions of quarters were struck to support commerce across the nation. Because of these high mintages, most 1972 quarters found in circulation today are common and typically worth face value in worn condition. However, as every serious coin enthusiast knows, rarity does not depend solely on mintage figures. Condition, strike quality, and mint errors can dramatically transform an ordinary coin into an extraordinary collectible. High-grade uncirculated examples graded mint state 65 and above can command impressive premiums, especially when they exhibit strong luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks. One of the most exciting aspects of collecting the 1972 Washington quarter lies in the search for mint errors and exceptional strike quality. During the minting process, Coins can sometimes be struck off-center, exhibit double die features, or display die cracks and other anomalies. These errors occur when mechanical misalignments or die imperfections influence the striking process. While most coins leave the mint in standard form, a small percentage escape with unique characteristics that collectors treasure. A sharply struck 1972 quarter with full detail in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, free from heavy bag marks, is far more difficult to find than the massive production numbers might suggest. The rapid pace of minting often resulted in minor imperfections, making truly pristine examples relatively scarce. Proof coins from San Francisco deserve special attention. These coins were struck multiple times under higher pressure to produce enhanced detail and reflective fields. Collectors often store proof coins carefully in protective cases, preserving their brilliant surfaces. Over time, some proof coins develop attractive toning, adding additional visual appeal. However, even proof coins can suffer from handling or improper storage, which reduces their value. For this reason, certified high-grade proof examples remain especially sought after in today's market. Beyond its physical details, the 1972 Washington quarter holds a broader historical significance. America in 1972 was deeply engaged in global events, technological advancements, and domestic change. The quarter served as a silent witness to everyday life during this transformative period. It passed through grocery stores, gas stations, movie theaters, and countless other places, facilitating commerce while carrying the familiar face of George Washington. Coins often feel ordinary because they are so common, but each one represents a snapshot of the time in which it was minted. The 1972 quarter connects collectors to a specific moment in American history, preserving that era in metal form. When evaluating the value of a 1972 Washington quarter, grading becomes essential. Coins are assessed on a scale that measures wear, luster, strike quality, and overall eye appeal. Circulated coins typically show wear on the highest points of the design, such as Washington's cheek and hair curls, as well as the eagle's breast feathers. In contrast, uncirculated coins retain their original mint luster and crisp detail. A coin graded at the very top of the mint state scale is extremely rare and commands substantial interest at auction. Authentication by reputable grading services ensures both condition accuracy and market confidence. As we approach the climax of this story, imagine holding a seemingly ordinary 1972 quarter and realizing it is not ordinary at all. Perhaps it is a flawless mint state example with blazing luster, or a rare mint error that slipped past quality control decades ago. Perhaps it is a proof coin preserved in pristine condition since the day it left San Francisco. In rare and exceptional circumstances, a 1972 Washington quarter can achieve a breathtaking auction result, transforming from a simple 25-cent piece into a treasure worth $190,000. That is the extraordinary potential hidden within this modest coin. If you have a 1972 Washington quarter in your collection, examine it carefully, check the mint mark, inspect the edge, evaluate the strike, and consider professional grading if it appears exceptional. You might be holding a remarkable piece of history. If you enjoyed this deep journey into the 1972 Washington quarter, be sure to comment below about your own coins so we can provide information about them. Subscribe to the channel for more captivating coin stories, and like this video to continue exploring the hidden wealth inside America's everyday pocket change. Top 3. In 1973, while America was navigating economic shifts, cultural change, and global challenges, millions of small silver-colored coins quietly moved from hand to hand, carrying not just monetary value but a powerful symbol of history and identity. Among them was the 1973 Washington quarter dollar of the United States of America, a coin that at first glance appears simple and ordinary, yet holds within it a story of precision, craftsmanship, and surprising rarity. Today, we are taking a deep and captivating journey into this remarkable coin, exploring its specifications, design, mint marks, composition, historical context, collector demand, and the astonishing heights its value can reach under extraordinary circumstances. By the end of this story, You may find yourself looking at every 1973 quarter with a new sense of curiosity and excitement. The design of the 1973 Washington quarter continues the iconic imagery first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the bicentennial of the birth of George Washington. The portrait was created by the skilled sculptor John Flanagan, whose artistic vision captured Washington's calm strength and timeless leadership. On the obverse, Washington faces left, his profile detailed yet dignified, with liberty boldly inscribed above. The motto "In God We Trust" appears to the left of the portrait, while the date 1973 rests below. The reverse features a majestic eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows that represent strength and readiness, while olive branches below symbolize peace. United States of America curves across the top edge, E pluribus unum appears above the eagle, and quarter dollar anchors the bottom. Even decades after its introduction, this design remained one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. Now let us turn to the physical specifications that define the 1973 Washington quarter. This coin weighs exactly 5.67 grams, a standard that had been firmly established since the shift away from silver coinage in 1965. Its diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, giving it the familiar size that fits perfectly in the palm of your hand. The thickness is 1.75 millimeters, providing durability while maintaining the traditional feel expected of a United States quarter. The composition of the 1973 quarter is a copper-nickel-clad structure, consisting of an outer layer made from 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. When you examine the edge of the coin closely, you will see a distinct copper stripe running through the center, a hallmark of the clad composition that replaced the earlier 90% silver coins. This structure ensured long-lasting durability and economic efficiency during a period when precious metal prices were rising. Mint marks play an important role in identifying 1973 Washington quarters. During this year, quarters were struck at three major facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins produced in Philadelphia carried no mint mark, a tradition that continued for many years. Denver minted quarters bear a small D mint mark located on the obverse, to the right of Washington's ponytail. San Francisco produced proof versions of the quarter, marked with an S mint mark. These proof coins were specially struck for collectors using polished dies and carefully prepared planchets, resulting in brilliant mirror-like fields and frosted design elements. Proof coins from San Francisco were not intended for circulation, and they were sold directly to collectors in protective packaging, making them highly desirable among enthusiasts seeking pristine examples. Although millions of 1973 quarters were minted for circulation, the true excitement in collecting lies in the details of condition and rarity. Circulated coins often show wear on Washington's hair, cheek, and jawline, as well as flattening on the eagle's breast feathers and wings. However, uncirculated coins graded in high mint state levels can command strong premiums, especially those with exceptional luster and minimal contact marks. Because coins were stored in large bags and transported in bulk, many uncirculated pieces acquired small nicks and abrasions. Finding a 1973 quarter with sharp details, blazing luster, and clean surfaces requires patience and sometimes luck. Proof coins from San Francisco offer a different kind of appeal. These coins were struck multiple times to enhance design clarity, producing sharp lines and reflective backgrounds that contrast beautifully with the frosted portrait and eagle. Over time, some proof coins have developed subtle toning, adding unique color variations that collectors find attractive. High-grade proof coins that have been preserved carefully remain among the most visually stunning examples of the 1973 issue. Another fascinating aspect of the 1973 Washington quarter is the potential for mint errors. During high-speed production, mechanical issues can occasionally lead to striking anomalies such as off-center strikes, doubled dies, die cracks, or clipped planchets. These errors transform ordinary coins into one-of-a-kind collectibles. Even small variations in strike quality can significantly influence value. For example, a sharply struck Denver quarter with full detail in Washington's hair curls and strong feather definition on the eagle is far more desirable than a weakly struck example. collectors carefully study coins under magnification, searching for unusual features that might elevate a coin's status from common to rare. The historical context of 1973 adds another layer of meaning to this coin. The early 1970s were marked by economic uncertainty, inflation concerns, and changes in global politics. Yet through it all, the Washington quarter continued to circulate as a stable unit of everyday commerce. It paid for groceries, fueled parking meters, and passed across countless counters in stores across the nation. Each coin carries with it the invisible imprint of history, representing not only its metal composition but also the lives and transactions it touched. Grading and authentication are critical when determining the value of a 1973 Washington quarter. Professional grading services evaluate coins based on strike quality, luster, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. A coin graded at the highest mint state levels can be dramatically more valuable than a lightly worn example. Authentication ensures that the coin is genuine and free from alterations. For collectors seeking investment-grade pieces, certification provides confidence and market credibility. While most 1973 quarters found in pocket change today are worth only face value, rare high-grade specimens and exceptional mint errors can achieve remarkable auction results. The combination of condition rarity and collector demand drives prices upward, especially when few comparable examples exist. In numismatics, even a coin with a large original mintage can become rare in top condition because so few survive without significant imperfections. Imagine the excitement of discovering a 1973 Washington quarter that appears flawless, with brilliant luster, razor-sharp details, and minimal marks. Imagine sending it for professional grading and receiving confirmation that it ranks among the finest known examples. In extraordinary circumstances, such a coin can command an astonishing price at auction, transforming a simple 25-cent piece into a treasure valued at $185,000. That is the extraordinary potential hidden within this modest coin. If you have a 1973 Washington quarter in your collection, examine it carefully, check for the mint mark, inspect the edge for the copper stripe, and look closely for exceptional strike quality or unusual mint errors. You might be holding a coin with remarkable hidden value. If you enjoyed this deep exploration of the 1973 Washington quarter, be sure to comment below about your own coins so we can provide information about them. Subscribe to the channel for more fascinating coin stories, and like this video to continue uncovering the incredible wealth that can be hiding in everyday American pocket change. Top 4. We are taking a deep and unforgettable journey into the 1974 Washington quarter, exploring its design, specifications, mint marks, composition, production history, collector appeal, and the astonishing heights its value can reach under extraordinary conditions. By the time we reach the end of this story, you may never again see a simple quarter as just pocket change. The design of the 1974 Washington quarter carries forward one of the most iconic images in American coinage. The obverse features the dignified left-facing portrait of George Washington, a design created by the talented sculptor John Flanagan. First introduced in 1932 to commemorate the bicentennial of Washington's birth, this portrait had already become deeply embedded in American culture by the time 1974 arrived. On the obverse, liberty arches boldly above Washington's head, while the national motto "In God We Trust" appears to the left of his profile. The date 1974 is positioned below, anchoring the design in its historical moment. The reverse showcases a powerful eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows to symbolize readiness and strength, with olive branches beneath representing peace. United States of America curves along the upper rim, E pluribus unum sits proudly above the eagle, and quarter dollar is inscribed along the bottom. The design's balance of strength and elegance has allowed it to endure for generations. Now let us examine the precise physical specifications of the 1974 Washington quarter. The coin weighs exactly 5.67 grams, maintaining the standard established after the removal of silver from circulating quarters in 1965. Its diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, giving it the familiar size recognized instantly by Americans across the country. The thickness is 1.75 millimeters, providing durability and a solid feel in the hand. The composition of the 1974 quarter is a copper-nickel-clad structure, consisting of outer layers made of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. When you look closely at the edge of the coin, you will notice the visible copper stripe running through the center, a defining feature of clad coinage that replaced the earlier 90% silver composition. This layered construction was designed to ensure long-term durability while reducing dependence on precious metals during a time of rising silver prices. Mint marks are an important part of identifying 1974 Washington quarters. During this year, quarters were produced at 3 major United States mint facilities. Coins struck in Philadelphia carried no mint mark, which was standard practice at the time. Those minted in Denver display a small D mint mark located on the obverse to the right of Washington's ponytail. San Francisco produced proof versions of the 1974 quarter, marked with an S mint mark. These proof coins were not intended for circulation but were struck specifically for collectors using specially polished dies and planchets to create sharp details and mirror-like surfaces. Proof coins were carefully packaged and sold to collectors, making them highly desirable, especially in high grades. Although millions of 1974 quarters were struck for everyday commerce, the true excitement for collectors lies in the condition and rarity of surviving examples. Circulated coins typically show wear on the highest points of the design, including Washington's cheek and hair curls as well as the eagle's breast feathers. Over decades of use, many coins accumulated scratches, nicks, and surface marks from contact with other coins. However, uncirculated examples that retain their original mint luster and sharp detail can be significantly more valuable. Coins graded at high mint state levels are much harder to find than the original mintage numbers might suggest, because most coins were stored in bulk bags where contact marks were unavoidable. Proof coins from San Francisco offer another level of appeal. These coins were struck multiple times to ensure exceptional detail and clarity. The reflective fields contrast beautifully with the frosted portrait and eagle, creating a dramatic visual effect. Collectors value proof coins for their beauty and limited production compared to circulation strikes. High-grade proof examples that have been preserved carefully over the decades remain among the most visually stunning representatives of the 1974 issue. Mint errors add yet another layer of intrigue to the 1974 Washington quarter. During the high-speed minting process, occasional mechanical issues resulted in coins being struck off-center, displaying double die characteristics, or showing die cracks and other irregularities. These mint errors are rare compared to standard issues and are highly sought after by collectors. Even subtle differences in strike quality can greatly influence desirability. A sharply struck Denver coin with crisp feather detail and strong luster is far more attractive than a weakly struck example with flat surfaces. The historical context of 1974 gives this coin additional significance. The United States was experiencing political upheaval and economic challenges, yet daily life continued, and commerce depended on coins like the Washington quarter. This small piece of metal passed through grocery stores, gas stations, vending machines, and movie theaters, quietly supporting everyday transactions. Each coin carries the invisible imprint of the era in which it circulated, connecting collectors to a specific moment in American history. When determining the value of a 1974 Washington quarter, professional grading plays a crucial role. Coins are evaluated based on strike sharpness, luster, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. A coin graded at the highest mint state levels can command dramatically higher prices than one with visible wear or heavy contact marks. Certification from reputable grading services ensures authenticity and provides confidence for buyers and sellers alike. In numismatics, condition rarity often drives value more strongly than overall mintage numbers. While most 1974 quarters found in circulation today are worth their face value, extraordinary examples tell a different story. A near-perfect mint state specimen or a rare and dramatic mint error can capture the attention of collectors worldwide. When demand meets scarcity, prices can rise to astonishing levels. Imagine discovering that a coin once worth only 25 cents has the potential to become a life-changing treasure. In rare and exceptional cases, a 1974 Washington quarter can achieve an incredible auction result, reaching a value of $180,000. That possibility transforms an ordinary coin into an object of fascination and excitement. You have a 1974 Washington quarter in your collection. Take a closer look. Check for the mint mark, inspect the edge for the copper stripe, examine the details in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, and look carefully for any unusual minting errors. You never know what hidden rarity might be waiting in your coin jar. The beauty of coin collecting lies in the thrill of discovery, the connection to history, and the potential for remarkable value hidden in everyday objects. If you enjoyed this journey into the 1974 Washington quarter, make sure you comment below about your own coins so we can provide information about them. Subscribe to the channel for more captivating coin stories, and like this video to continue exploring the hidden treasures circulating in America's pocket change. Top 5. We are taking a deep and captivating journey into the 1980 Washington quarter struck at the Philadelphia Mint, exploring its history, physical specifications, composition, mint mark, collector appeal, and the remarkable heights its value can reach under extraordinary conditions. By the end of this story, you may find yourself examining every quarter in your pocket with a sense of anticipation. The 1980 Washington quarter carries forward one of the most iconic designs in American coinage. The obverse proudly displays the dignified left-facing portrait of George Washington, a design originally sculpted by the talented artist John Flanagan. Washington's profile reflects calm leadership and enduring strength, qualities that have symbolized the nation for generations. Above his head, the word Liberty arches boldly along the rim. To the left of his portrait appears the national motto "In God We Trust," and below rests the date 1980, anchoring this coin in its historical moment. On the reverse, a majestic eagle spreads its wings wide, clutching arrows that represent readiness and defense, while olive branches below symbolize peace. United States of America curves across the upper edge, E pluribus unum sits above the eagle, and quarter dollar is inscribed along the bottom. Even after nearly 5 decades of continuous production, this design remained a powerful emblem of American tradition. Let us now focus on the technical details that define the 1980 Washington quarter. The coin weighs exactly 5.67 grams, a standard maintained since the transition away from silver in 1965. Its diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, giving it the familiar size instantly recognized across the nation. The thickness is 1.75 millimeters, providing durability while maintaining the balanced feel expected of a quarter. The composition of the 1980 quarter is a copper-nickel-clad structure. The outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core made of pure copper. When you examine the edge of the coin, you can clearly see the distinctive copper stripe running through the center, a visible reminder of the clad construction that replaced the earlier silver content decades earlier. This layered design ensures strength, longevity, and cost efficiency in mass circulation. One of the defining features of this particular coin is its mint mark. In 1980, the Philadelphia Mint struck quarters bearing the P mint mark, a relatively recent practice at that time. For many years, Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark, but beginning in 1980, the P mint mark was added to distinguish Philadelphia issues. On the 1980 Washington quarter, the P mint mark appears on the obverse to the right of Washington's ponytail. This small detail is extremely important to collectors, as it identifies the coin's place of origin and marks a significant moment in minting history when Philadelphia officially began marking its circulating quarters. Although millions of 1980 P quarters were produced to meet the demands of commerce, the true excitement for collectors lies not in the overall mintage but in condition and rarity. Circulated examples typically show wear on Washington's hair, cheek, and jawline, as well as flattening of detail on the eagle's feathers. Many coins were stored in large mint bags, where contact with other coins caused small nicks and abrasions even before entering circulation. As a result, high-grade mint state examples with sharp details, bright luster, and minimal contact marks are far more difficult to find than one might expect. Coins graded at the highest mint state levels can command significant premiums, especially when certified by reputable grading services. In addition to condition rarity, mint errors add another layer of intrigue to the 1980p Washington quarter. During the high-speed minting process, occasional mechanical imperfections resulted in striking anomalies such as off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped planchets, and die cracks. These errors transform ordinary coins into unique collectibles. Even subtle differences in strike sharpness can elevate a coin's desirability. A sharply struck example with full feather detail and strong hair definition is far more appealing to collectors than a weakly struck coin with flat surfaces. The year 1980 was a time of economic adjustment in the United States, marked by inflation concerns and shifting financial policies. Yet throughout this period, the Washington quarter continued to circulate as a reliable unit of everyday commerce. It paid for groceries, bus fares, vending machines, and countless small transactions across the country. Each coin carries with it the invisible history of the era in which it moved, linking collectors today to the lives and experiences of people from that time. When determining the value of a 1980p Washington quarter, grading is essential. Professional grading services evaluate coins based on strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and overall eye appeal. A coin graded at the very top of the mint state scale can be dramatically more valuable than one showing even minor imperfections. Authentication ensures that the coin is genuine and free from alteration, providing confidence in the marketplace. For serious collectors and investors, certified high-grade examples represent both historical artifacts and potential financial assets. While most 1980p quarters encountered in everyday circulation are worth their face value, extraordinary specimens tell a different story. A near-perfect mint state example with blazing luster and exceptional detail, or a dramatic mint error preserved in pristine condition, can attract intense interest at auction. In rare and exceptional cases, the 1980 Washington quarter with the P mint mark has achieved remarkable results, reaching a value of $150,000. That possibility transforms an ordinary 25-cent coin into a symbol of hidden opportunity. Imagine discovering a 1980p Washington quarter in your collection that appears flawless under magnification. Imagine sending it for professional grading and learning that it ranks among the finest known examples. The thrill of such a discovery is what makes coin collecting so captivating. If you have a 1980 Washington quarter with the P mint mark, examine it closely. Check the mint mark placement, inspect the edge for the copper stripe, and study the details in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. You never know what hidden treasure may be waiting in your coin jar. The beauty of coin collecting lies in the stories each coin carries and the excitement of uncovering rarity in the most ordinary places. If you enjoyed this deep exploration of the 1980 Washington quarter, be sure to comment below about your own coins so we can provide information about them. Subscribe to the channel for more fascinating coin stories, and like this video to continue discovering the incredible value that can be hiding in America's everyday pocket change. Top 6. We are going to take a deep and fascinating journey into the 1992 Washington quarter, uncovering its specifications, composition, mint marks, design details, production history, collector appeal, and the extraordinary heights its value can reach in rare and exceptional circumstances. By the end of this exploration, you may find yourself searching through your pocket change with a new sense of excitement. The 1992 Washington quarter proudly continues one of the most enduring designs in American coinage. The obverse features the distinguished left-facing portrait of George Washington, a design originally created by the sculptor John Flanagan in 1932. Washington's calm and steady profile symbolizes leadership, resilience, and national unity. Above his head, the word liberty curves along the rim, standing as a timeless reminder of American ideals. To the left of the portrait, the national motto "In God We Trust" is inscribed, while the date 1992 rests below. On the reverse, the powerful eagle spreads its wings wide, clutching arrows that represent strength and readiness, while olive branches beneath symbolize peace. United States of America frames the upper edge, E pluribus unum appears above the eagle, and quarter dollar anchors the bottom of the design. Even after decades of production, this classic imagery remained instantly recognizable and deeply meaningful, Now let us examine the technical specifications that define the 1992 Washington quarter. The coin weighs precisely 5.67 grams, a standard maintained since the removal of silver from circulating quarters in 1965. Its diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, giving it the familiar size Americans recognize without even looking. The thickness is 1.75 millimeters, ensuring durability and structural integrity during years of circulation. The composition of the 1992 quarter is a copper-nickel-clad construction. The outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core made entirely of copper. When viewed from the edge, a visible copper stripe runs through the center, a defining feature of clad coinage that replaced the earlier 90% silver composition. This layered structure was engineered for longevity, cost efficiency, and resistance to wear. In 1992, Washington quarters were struck at multiple mint facilities, each identified by its mint mark. Coins produced in Philadelphia bear the P mint mark, located on the obverse to the right of Washington's ponytail. Denver minted coins carry a D mint mark in the same position. San Francisco produced proof versions marked with an S. The proof coins of 1992 are especially noteworthy because this year marked the introduction of the silver proof set option, which included quarters struck in 90% silver specifically for collectors. These silver-proof quarters were not intended for circulation and were sold directly to collectors in protective packaging. This edition created an exciting variation within the 1992 issue, blending modern clad coinage with a return to traditional silver for special collector editions. Although millions of 1992 quarters were produced for circulation, the majority entered everyday commerce and experienced wear over time. Circulated examples typically show flattening on Washington's cheek and hair curls, as well as wear on the eagle's breast feathers and wings. However, uncirculated coins that retain their original mint luster and sharp details are far more desirable. Because coins are transported and stored in bulk, even uncirculated examples often acquire contact marks. As a result, high-grade mint state coins with clean surfaces and exceptional eye appeal are significantly rarer than overall mintage numbers might suggest. Proof coins from San Francisco deserve special attention. These coins were struck multiple times using specially polished dies, resulting in deep mirror-like fields and frosted design elements. The contrast between the reflective background and the detailed portrait creates a striking visual effect that collectors greatly appreciate. Silver-proof versions from 1992 add another layer of appeal due to their precious metal content and limited production compared to circulation strikes. Mint errors also contribute to the intrigue surrounding the 1992 Washington quarter. During high-speed production, occasional mechanical anomalies resulted in coins being struck off-center, displaying double die characteristics, or exhibiting die cracks and clipped planchets. These mint errors are relatively rare and highly sought after by collectors. Even subtle variations in strike quality can influence desirability. A sharply struck 1992 quarter with strong feather detail and brilliant luster is far more appealing than a weakly struck example with dull surfaces. The historical context of 1992 enhances the significance of this coin. The early 1990s marked a period of rapid technological advancement, economic shifts, and global transformation. Yet throughout these changes, the Washington quarter remained a steady presence in daily life. It passed through grocery stores, parking meters, public transit systems, and countless transactions, serving as a quiet witness to a pivotal era in American history. Each coin carries with it a trace of that time, connecting collectors today with the experiences of people from more than 3 decades ago. Grading and authentication play a crucial role in determining the value of a 1992 Washington quarter. Professional grading services evaluate coins based on strike sharpness, luster, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. A coin graded at the highest mint state levels can be dramatically more valuable than one showing even minor imperfections. Certified examples provide buyers with confidence and ensure authenticity in the marketplace. For serious collectors, condition rarity often matters more than total mintage. While most 1992 quarters found in circulation today are worth their face value, extraordinary specimens tell a very different story. A near-perfect mint state coin, a rare and dramatic mint error, or a pristine silver-proof example preserved in exceptional condition can attract intense interest at auction. In rare and remarkable circumstances, the 1992 Washington quarter has achieved astonishing results, reaching a value of $90,000. That possibility transforms what seems like ordinary pocket change into a symbol of hidden opportunity and discovery. Imagine examining a 1992 quarter under magnification and noticing flawless surfaces, sharp design details, and radiant luster. Imagine sending it to a professional grading service and learning that it ranks among the finest known examples. The thrill of that discovery is what makes coin collecting so captivating. If you have a 1992 Washington quarter in your collection, take a closer look. Check the mint mark, inspect the edge for the copper stripe, study the detail in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, and look carefully for any unusual minting characteristics. You never know when an ordinary coin might reveal extraordinary value, and as we reach the end of this journey, remember that even the most common coins can hold remarkable stories and hidden worth. If you have your own Washington quarters or any other coins, comment below and tell us about them so we can provide information and help you understand their potential value. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more fascinating coin stories, and make sure you like this video to continue exploring the incredible treasures that may be hiding in America's everyday pocket change. Top 7. We are traveling back to the mid-1990s, a time when the world was changing fast, technology was accelerating, and yet in the middle of all that progress, a small 25-cent coin quietly carried forward a legacy that began in 1932. In your hand, it may feel like nothing more than pocket change, but when you truly look at the 1994 Washington quarter dollar struck at the Denver Mint, you begin to see a story that connects generations of Americans, collectors, historians, and dreamers. This is not just a coin, this is a piece of the United States of America's living history. The Washington Quarter Series, first introduced to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, had already become one of the longest-running designs in American coinage by the time 1994 arrived. And yet, even after decades of circulation, the familiar portrait of Washington still carried dignity, strength, and quiet authority. The 1994 issue may appear ordinary at first glance, but hidden within its precise measurements, its metallic composition, and its minting details lies a fascinating narrative that every serious collector should understand. The obverse of this coin features the timeless left-facing portrait of George Washington, originally sculpted by John Flanagan, based on the earlier bust by Jean-Antoine Houdon. Washington's profile is strong and calm, embodying the ideals of leadership and independence that shaped the nation. Above his head appears the word liberty, while the motto "In God We Trust" rests to the left, and the date 1994 sits proudly at the bottom. When we turn the coin over, the reverse displays the heraldic eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing both readiness for defense and desire for peace. United States of America curves around the top, E pluribus unum rests above the eagle, and quarter dollar anchors the design below. This reverse design, used for decades before the state quarters program transformed the series in 1999, represents a classic era of American coinage that many collectors now look back on with nostalgia. The 1994 D quarter belongs to this final stretch of the traditional eagle reverse, making it historically significant as part of the closing chapter of a long design tradition. Now let's talk about the technical specifications that make this coin what it is. The 1994 Washington quarter weighs precisely 5.67 grams. That weight is not random. It reflects the standardized composition adopted after 1965 when the United States shifted away from 90% silver coinage. The diameter measures 24.26 millimeters, giving it the familiar size that generations instantly recognize when they feel it between their fingers. Its thickness is 1.75 millimeters, a dimension that ensures durability while maintaining balance in hand. These exact measurements create consistency across millions of coins, yet collectors know that even within such precision, small variations can create rare and valuable pieces. The composition of the 1994 D quarter is a clad structure, outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This sandwich-style metal composition gives the coin its silver-colored appearance while keeping production costs manageable. When you examine the edge, you will see the distinct copper stripe running through the middle, revealing the inner core that defines modern clad coinage. The mint mark on this particular coin is the letter D, representing the Denver Mint. By 1994, the Denver facility had long been one of the major coin-producing mints in the United States, known for striking billions of circulation coins. The small D mint mark appears on the obverse, just to the right of Washington's ponytail ribbon. Though small, that single letter tells you exactly where the coin was born. The Denver Mint in 1994 produced hundreds of millions of Washington quarters for circulation, meaning that most examples are common in worn condition. However, as seasoned collectors understand, common mintage does not automatically mean low value. Condition is everything. A coin that has never entered circulation, one that remains in pristine uncirculated or mint state condition, can command astonishing premiums compared to a heavily worn example. In addition, rare minting errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or dramatic die cracks, can transform an everyday coin into a collector's treasure. Imagine for a moment the journey of a 1994 D Washington quarter. It begins as a blank copper core, layered with nickel alloy, punched into a perfect round planchet. It passes through powerful presses inside the Denver Mint, where dies strike it with immense pressure, imprinting Washington's portrait and the heraldic eagle in a fraction of a second. From there, it joins thousands of other freshly struck coins, bagged and shipped across the country. Some enter cash registers, vending machines, parking meters, and arcade cabinets. Others are tucked away in coin rolls by attentive collectors who sense that someday these coins may hold more than face value. Decades pass. Most become worn and scratched, losing their mint luster. But a select few remain untouched, preserved in original rolls or carefully stored in protective holders. Those survivors are the coins that command attention today. Collectors evaluating a 1994 D quarter look closely at strike quality, luster, surface preservation, and eye appeal. High-grade examples graded MS67 or above are extremely difficult to find because even minor contact marks can lower the grade. The coin's fields, the flat background areas, must remain smooth and reflective. The high points of Washington's hair and the eagle's breast feathers must be sharp and well-defined. Any evidence of friction immediately reduces value. Professional grading services authenticate and encapsulate these coins, assigning numerical grades that directly influence market price. In recent years, top population coins in exceptional mint state have achieved remarkable auction results. And when rare error varieties are involved, the numbers can become even more dramatic beyond condition. Another factor that makes the 1994 D Washington quarter interesting is its place in history. It was struck just 5 years before the launch of the 50-state quarters program in 1999, a program that revitalized coin collecting across America. Many collectors who began their hobby during the state quarters era later returned to earlier issues like the 1994 D to complete full Washington quarter sets. As a result, demand for high-grade pre-1999 quarters has grown steadily. The 1994 D stands as one of the last standard eagle reverse quarters before the design transformation. That transitional context gives it a quiet but meaningful importance within the broader series. If you are searching your change jars or old coin rolls, do not overlook the 1994 D quarter. Examine it under bright light. Tilt it slowly to observe the cartwheel luster that rotates across the surface on uncirculated examples. Look for doubling in the lettering, inspect the rims for irregularities, and check the alignment of the strike. Even subtle differences can separate an ordinary coin from a valuable one. Many collectors have discovered treasures hiding in plain sight simply because they took the time to look carefully. The beauty of coin collecting lies in that possibility, the idea that history and value may be sitting quietly in your own home. As we bring this story to its conclusion, remember that the Washington Quarter series represents resilience and continuity. From its introduction during the Great Depression to its transformation at the end of the 20th century, it has remained a symbol of American heritage. The 1994 D Washington quarter dollar, weighing 5.67 grams, measuring 24.26 millimeters in diameter and 1.75 millimeters in thickness, composed of copper nickel clad over a copper core, and bearing the proud D mint mark of Denver, may appear simple at first glance. But in the highest known mint state condition or as a rare error variety, this coin has reached an astonishing market value of $180,000. If you have a 1994 Washington quarter in your collection, take a closer look today, and comment below about your own coins so this channel can provide information about them. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment your thoughts, and like this video to support more incredible coin stories.